One of the struggles of ADHD is this trouble with a working memory that can be very small. Meanwhile, intelligence is trying to get through this bottleneck. It's a difficult situation. One quick way that we tend to resolve this issue is by using a Scratchpad. Write down a few thoughts about what we have to take care of and then go through them. Often feels positive to do this. Sometimes we go overboard, write a gazillion things. Sometimes we're just able to capture what's on our mind in that moment. Feels very empowering, at least for that moment, and then things often fall apart at that point. We can expand the use of this, though, through a mindfulness technique and what I call anchoring. I've mentioned it on several episodes before. There are 2 or 3, I want to call them rules, but I also don't want to call them rules. All right, let's call them rules. Welcome to the Rhythms of Focus podcast for wandering minds who are tired of feeling that they have to force themselves to make things happen. Maybe know that when things line up well, that tendency to wander actually becomes a powerful wave of focus. I'm Dr. Kourosh Dini, fellow wandering mind. It wasn't that long ago that I struggled to make things happen, whether it was to remember when to pay a bill, do things over time, or look at a list without feeling repulsed. Fast forward through years of study and practice, I can now not only deal with the world, I can be creative, playful, and engage in the ways that make sense to me. I can be a doctor, musician, father, still play games in the evenings. I've created this podcast to share these ideas so you can do the same, hopefully with a lot less of the troubles I needed to go through to get here. Whether you have ADHD, deal with anxiety, or just suffer from a powerfully creative spirit, I invite you to join me in this weekly podcast to start finding your own way to a calmer, more intuitive space. Please note, I'm not functioning as your doctor, psychiatrist, psychoanalyst, therapist, or otherwise. This is here for education, if not entertainment, and I do hope you enjoy it. Anchoring is a powerful way of bringing our mind to the moment using pen and paper. But there are a few different unlocks that need to be put in place before it really blooms, because otherwise we're just using pen and paper. So what are these unlocks? Well, the first one is to transition from only writing tasks and to-dos to writing options. All right, so what's that about? There's a sense in meditation that we are not our thoughts, commonly mentioned phrase that seems mystical in nature. Mystical maybe being another word for mystery, beyond our understanding, unless we sit down and do this difficult thing every day. And especially for those with ADHD, that sort of meditation can seem well out of reach. So what is that? One of the troubles with ADHD is that we tend to wrestle with our thoughts. For example, we have this idea of a thing we, quote, should do. The laundry, taking care of the fridge that's starting to rot, other things that may or may not have deadlines. Usually the ones without clear deadlines are the more insidious. And then we might try to push them out of our minds, try to focus somewhere else. Acknowledging them in one sense, for example, writing them down, can be a difficult proposition because now we're even more directly facing this thing that we don't want to do. We don't know where to write it. We don't know how to convince ourselves to do it. We're enraged by it, among other possibilities. Meanwhile, it may shame us, worsening matters. When we can write a list as options, for example, if we have the option to start cleaning the fridge using a small, tiny step forward rather than cleaning the entire thing, among other possibilities, acknowledging what's on our mind, we're relieving our working memory. There's part of us that's already strained. This allows us then to have more ability to decide. Not only do we have more ability to decide, but now we have more energy to face the difficult emotions, the storm of emotions that are waiting for us around these difficult matters, whatever it is we decide to do. The point is that we've heightened our sense of agency. We've not forced ourselves one way or the other to do the thing or not do the thing. I like to use this mnemonic: want, impulse, need, drift, wind. There's also this optional E at the end of it for emotion, if you like, so windy. It's useful as you're getting a sense of what those winds are, what's on my mind in this moment. When we practice that sense, rather than writing our tasks, We then get to more clearly decide which direction to head. We have more resources to make that decision as we're not trying to push ourselves against one or the other. In this way, we're not our thoughts. We're not being driven by the thoughts. The thoughts and the emotions behind them are messengers. Now, the second thing that happens, second rule maybe, second unlock, occurs when we realize that the list decays. Not only do we realize that, but we acknowledge it and we do something about it. Let's say we've chosen something on this list to visit. We've circled one thing. We've gone ahead and made that visit. If we can return to the list, when we are able, if we haven't lost our way, we have this benefit. We can see who we were before that session, before that visit that we'd engaged in. We're now in this position to say, what's different? Maybe a little, maybe a lot. We can cross things off, add them, update things in whatever way, shape, or form so that it now reflects the now. As we do that, we are engaging in this conversation with our past self. That process develops a trust over time that we can use for our future selves. We can recognize, oh, I can hold on to an idea and come back to it, even if it's for a brief moment. It's a practice. Trust is something of a muscle that we form. It's a sense that something will continue to behave as it has been, such that it might be relied on. And developing that is a muscle. Now, the third unlock is that once this is no longer representative of the now, we can trash it. We can archive it. We can get rid of it. It's no longer an anchor. These three unlocks move a Scratchpad from a simple thing to a very powerful ally in our day-to-day, helping us reduce scatter, manage exhaustion, connect to our task lists if we have them. We're getting more buckets of email and all the rest all the time. It helps us manage those as well. For example, we can write something like, visit the inbox. And that can be one way of acknowledging, oh, there's a thing. Today's piece of music is called In the Interim. It's an improvisation oddly written in both minor and major keys, sometimes with minor in the lower registers and major in the higher. Other times there's a full-on transition to the major. At first, you might think that music doesn't allow for this kind of transition. But somehow, if you commit to it, it does. But that commitment isn't blind. It isn't like, I'm going to do this no matter what. That's often a recipe for might makes right type of a disaster. Instead, it's an acknowledgement of both the major and minor, respecting both as they are. I hope you enjoy it. Small note before we close, I've started a new video series on YouTube called Finding Flow with ADHD. It walks through the waves approach of the waves of focus, the wandering mind, the anchor, the visit, and more. It's all brought to life on screen. And if that sounds useful to you, check out the link in the show notes.